explaining the book How to Be Free by Tom Hodgkinson in a simple and smooth style, as if you were reading an article or chapter from a motivational book. Introduction to the book, How to Be Free, is a satirical and profound intellectual book written by Tom Hodgkinson, a British writer known for his call for a return to simplicity and free, independent living, free from the social and economic pressures created by the modern world. The author believes that most people live captive to invisible systems that restrict them without them realizing it, and that true freedom is achieved only when we break these restrictions and live according to what we love, not according to what is imposed on us. The book's main idea. The book revolves around a simple yet fundamental question. Why can't we live free? Why do we surrender to jobs we don't love, to debts that burden us, to endless consumerism, to anxiety and fear of the future, and to the constant pursuit of so-called success, while losing our inner freedom? Tom rejects this lifestyle and proposes practical and spiritual paths to liberation. Chapters and main ideas. The book is composed of short chapters, each addressing an aspect of life that restricts people. In each chapter, the author reveals a source of modern slavery and proposes a way to break free from it, drawing on personal experience, history, and philosophy to illustrate his point. In the first chapter, he discusses work and describes how modern work has become a form of disguised slavery. In his opinion, work robs people of their time, spirit, and creativity. People are forced to wake up early, commute long hours, carry out orders, and endure stress for barely enough money, all in order to consume things they don't need. He believes the solution lies in professional independence, self-employment, turning passion into income, or at least reducing dependence on work and simplifying life to reduce the need for money. In another chapter, he discusses debt. He explains how people go into debt to buy unnecessary things, from big houses to luxury cars, just to satisfy a social image. They then spend years paying off those debts, becoming captive to banks and credit cards. The author believes that financial freedom does not mean wealth, but rather freedom from debt, living simply and being content with enough. He then discusses the role of government and bureaucracy in restricting individuals. He believes that the modern state imposes a system of education, work, taxes, and laws that makes people obedient and unable to think outside the box. He encourages political apathy, not in the sense of not caring about public affairs, but rather of not relying on the government to effect change and focusing on individual lifestyle change. The author also attacks the educational system, which programs children from an early age to become workers in an unforgiving economic system. He believes that education should not merely prepare us for the job market, but should cultivate curiosity and free knowledge. He calls for self-education and independence. He also criticizes modern consumer culture, which portrays us as happiness coming from buying things, when in reality, the more we buy, the emptier we feel. He advocates home economics, meaning the making of some things by hand, such as bread, clothing, or simple tools, to reduce dependence on the market. He devotes a chapter to discussing time. He believes that people today lack time. They are always running around, spending their days between appointments and screens, and not living in the moment. He calls for slowing down, for us to live our lives at a slower pace and enjoy the simplest details, from drinking coffee to meditating or reading. The book also celebrates boredom, seeing it as an opportunity for creation and innovation. In a world obsessed with constant stimulation and instant entertainment, the author encourages us to embrace moments of silence and emptiness, for from them spring great ideas. He also discusses gardening, viewing it as a form of liberation, where we return to the earth, to nature, and eat what we grow. Home gardening is not only a means of self-sufficiency, but also of contemplation, love, and tranquility. He also discusses human relationships, encouraging real and simple connection, far removed from the false social fabric. He believes that small parties, music, singing, dancing, all these simple rituals restore our humanity and break the loneliness imposed by modern life. The spirit and philosophy of the book. What makes this book different is its humorous, sarcastic style, even though it discusses serious issues. The author doesn't present himself as a preacher, but rather as a lighthearted friend who tells you that you don't have to live this way and that there's always another way. He shows you that change is possible and that you don't need anyone's permission to be free. You just need an inner decision and the courage to break habits. Conclusion: How to Be Free is not just superficial advice. It's an invitation to rethink everything we become accustomed to, from the way we earn a living to the way we spend our time, to our view of success and happiness. It poses sometimes painful questions, but it illuminates a small path toward a more honest, calm, and free life. Freedom, as Tom Hodgkinson portrays it, doesn't mean escaping society, but rather freeing yourself internally from fear, dependency, anxiety, and constant panting. It's an invitation to live your life on your own terms, not on others.